Makes sense.
That's why I don't understand you.
I just don't.
Who are you?
We'll be talking about Serena Williams. Be like, oh, no, can't do that. Get out of here. Why not? Are you kidding me? That's a beautiful specimen of a woman. Get out of here. What was the song?
I've just been listening to the Hillary Duff album. I'm
Really?
serious, yeah. It's really chill. So I was just working to it, and then I just had it when I got in the car and it attached, so I didn't change it.
I can't work with lyrics. I have to do instrumentals only.
So do I often,
Okay.
and this one fits in an odd space that
Got
it's chill enough.
Like easy listening type
Very
stuff?
easy listening. It's
Okay.
like very basic girl pop in the best of ways.
Got you.
She feels authentic to herself.
Hey, that's all you need from your artist.
They were playing an old Hillary Duff song in the women's bathroom at FedEx Forum last
Turn
night.
up.
And I was like, I need to know, because it was different. The women's bathroom music was different than the music being played. Like, it was such a weird stepping into
really?
a portal. I thought someone was playing it on their phone
Yeah.
when I first came in, and then no one was in there unless there was a ghost. And I want to know who was in charge of the women's bathroom playlist last night.
There's a ghost in FedEx Forum
It's like Moaning
that only
Myrtle.
plays Moaning Myrtle in the forum.
Moaning Myrtle in the forum.
Playing Lizzie McGuire songs.
Yeah,
All
why
right.
not?
Okay.
It was funny.
How to Save a Life was being played when I was in there early in the morning. I walked through there at like 6:15 yesterday morning. It's like, oh, this is an interesting way to start the day. I like it.
Are we in an episode of Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, Scrubs. They did win Scrubs also, which is coming back.
Just
Wednesday.
waiting for the Pit to have a musical episode.
Like a full-on musical?
You know, we used to get musical episodes.
Yep, Scrubs did one of those.
See?
Did Grays do one?
Oh, yes.
I-
Multiple.
They did multiple musicals?
Yeah, I think they did 2.
You know you do the musicals to get the Emmy, right?
Of course.
Yeah, there's no other reason to do it.
Of course. And to feature the multi-purpose actors on your show. Like Callie on Grey's Anatomy is a great musical theater actress, and then she got to sing her face off.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the more you know. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, February 24th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. We saw a unicorn last night at FedEx Forum. We will get into the Grizzlies' loss to the Sacramento Kings, best things we saw, plus draft darling roundup with a handful of projected lottery picks in action last night. The Spurs also got the best of the Pistons on what they call a down night for Victor Wembanyama. Everybody should be worried. Mike Wallace will join us to talk Grizzlies, to talk NBA in our second segment. In the third segment, Will Coleman, former Memphis Tiger, joins us. We'll discuss the Tigers' 4-game losing streak, Penny Hardaway's comments from his radio show last night. Plus, Will give us his 5 best bigs in college basketball this season. We'll do some TV Tuesday. CJ and I both watched the America's Next Top Model documentary. We'll wax some nostalgia on those times. It is a Tuesday. You know what we say. Happy International I Hate Cilantro Day.
Oh, it tastes like soap.
Ah.
Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
The Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
How are you able to release and have an instrumental song become a huge deal?
And I forget who the disc jockey was, but he put the wrong side on. He put the green onions by mistake and played the B side instead of the A side.
No!
And that's when the change happened. These people started to call the station and say, play that song again.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own a day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope you are having a great start to your week. We've got a lot to get into today, NBA, college basketball, and more. But I will start with a promise I made on the double post last night, Grind City Media's post-game show following the Grizzlies really, truly losing to the Sacramento Kings. Some said it couldn't be done, but the Grizzlies said, we will snap this 16-game Kings losing streak. We will force the Sacramento Kings to actually win a real-life basketball game. CJ, are you familiar with the song Collide? Even the best fall down.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. Roser was unfamiliar with that beautiful song by Howie Day. Represents a real specific time in the pop music sphere. But all I kept getting in my head last night as I was sitting there watching that game was, even the best fall down. So I rewrote it, and here's your new hook. Even the worst teams win sometimes. Even the beam can reignite. Out of the doubts old Westbrook flies. It's what you find when losing teams collide. Do, 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 do. Yeah, we're on a rough part in the season, CJ. You want your own musical episode of this show? I'm just sitting there on my little keyboard last night. Had the song in my head.
Was it in the bathroom? Was it being played in
No,
the bathroom
it was me
also?
sitting right here after having to watch Grizzlies Kings right here at FedEx Forum last night. It was not the most beautiful basketball game in the world, and the Memphis Grizzlies lost to the Sacramento Kings, 123-114. I saw somebody complaining last night that on Peacock, they had the great game between the Spurs and the Pistons as the early game, but the second game of the night was Jazz Rockets, and that Vince Williams Jr. injury, horrific. Like, absolutely hate seeing that. If you missed it, do not go watch the video. Vince Williams Jr.'s leg goes in a direction that his leg is not supposed to go. Tari Eason pushed him from a really weird angle. It was just an awful play. They're fearing that it was a catastrophic ACL tear for Vince, which just absolutely stinks. But the Jazz Rockets game itself, I saw somebody complaining, why is this game on national television and why is this our only option right now? And I wanted to say, would you have preferred Kings Grizzlies? Because there were only 3 games on total last night. So that would have been your alternative. And it wasn't the most fun game in the universe to watch. The Kings' first win since January 16th. The Sacramento Kings have 4 road wins this season. They had not run a road game since December 6th. So when I say we saw something last night at FedEx Forum that you do not see often in this year's NBA. I am speaking factually. It doesn't happen all that much. Here's the lowdown of the game. The Grizzlies don't have a center. Not one. And Kyle Anderson was out last night. Ty Jerome ended up being out with an illness as well. Grizzlies do not have a center, which complicates things. You had Jemai Mashak trying to box out 7'1" Maxime Reynal. You had Precious Achiuwa almost having a double-double in the first half of that game, ended with 22 points and 12 rebounds. And shout out Jacob Blevins for the stat we shared on the double post last night. Precious Achiuwa, the first former Memphis Tiger since Lorenzen Wright to have 20-plus points and 12-plus rebounds in a game against the Memphis Grizzlies. They don't have a center. And then also the Grizzlies' oldest vet last night is Scottie Pippen Jr., and he had 7 turnovers. It wasn't a great game for Scottie. And meanwhile, on the other end, the Kings, who again had lost 16 straight games, but they do have 2 of the top all-time 25 scorers in the NBA. Like 2 of the top 25 all-time in Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan. And DeMar DeRozan is going to hit that little turnaround jumper for the next 74 years, and he still got it. And Russell Westbrook played really well last night. They combined for 44 points, and they played through the end of the game, right? Like, you get to a point where if you're the Kings, you can't lose them all. And they did keep those guys in late in the game. I mean, we saw when the Grizzlies played in Sacramento, they pulled, at the time, a handful of players who were contributing to a better winning percentage for the Sacramento Kings. We'll put it that way. But that's what it comes down to for the Grizzlies, and that's okay. These games are going to happen, and you take the loss and move on.
Absolutely. Speaking of moving on, you on CNN
no,
this morning?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Are you sure? That's the only
later.
thing I want to talk about, and I'm not going to be able to focus until we talk about it.
I don't think we can show a clip from another network
Why
on our
can't
show.
we? They
Because of
showed
rights.
you.
I know, and
they showed you, and they
Chris
didn't
was like,
ask
"Did they
you.
ask about it?"
No.
I said, "No, of course not."
So we can't
Nobody asked anything
we can show
anymore.
a still clip, can't we?
You can show a picture.
We can show a picture of it.
Sure,
Jacob, just run it and pause it. Like, what are we talking about? I'm sitting at my table doing work this morning. It's like 5:15, 5:30, and my wife goes, "That's Jessica. And so I look up like, yo, what are you talking about? What's going on? And I look up and Jessica Jane Benson is on my TV screen. There's no audio. I think that they listen for the audio to know if they can pull it down or not. But Jessica's on the screen on CNN.
That was I.
With big old opinions about the U.S. women's hockey team, letting it be known where she stands on this. Get out of here. Do you know anybody at CNN?
No.
How the hell did you get on there?
They just scour the internet and find
They don't have to scour that hard. They know where JB Jams is.
She's come so far.
So far.
We used to just casually throw out the JB Jams on this show, and now look at that TikTok account for all to see. They're going to be, all these new followers are going to be real confused when they just start getting Memphis restaurant recommendations.
Oh,
They're going to be like, what?
Are you ready?
Why did I end up following this person?
You don't have your notifications turned on, do you?
No.
Because you might want to turn them off tonight because the old boy's going to be talking, and I bet his people are going to be worked up into a frenzy.
I've got a lot of comments.
Oh, boy.
Can I read you my best?
Yes,
I know you enjoy. I know you
love
enjoy
it.
this.
Don't ask. Just read them to me.
These were the 4 that I picked for you.
Thank you.
Who builds the roads? Men. Who builds the cars you drive? Men. Who gets you the oil for your car? Men. Who fixes your car? Men. Who protects you from the bad guys? Men. Oh, yeah.
Hey, quick question. On the last one, who protects you from the bad guys?
What if the men are the bad guys?
Who are the bad guys? Men.
Okay, next one. It's almost like men's sports are just better in every aspect. Now, if there's ever a match for laundry, washing dishes, or crashing a car, then y'all will have something to look forward to.
What type of nasty-ass dude doesn't wash his own dishes and do his laundry?
Listen, I'm pretty bad at doing laundry, so let's be honest here.
Also, I've seen NASCAR. Men crash cars all the time.
Oh, Lord, spare the outrage. It's funny you guys can talk about straight white men till your face turns blue without recourse, but a person tells a joke and you flip a lid. Women are great, but complaining women like you are the problem.
Listen, I
also,
agree
I want to
with
be clear. I was really non-complaining. I don't know if you watched the whole video, but it was a pretty fair interpretation. Talk about how much I enjoyed the men's gold medal match. Like, it was, I said it yesterday on the show, and we didn't talk about this on the show yesterday because it was kind of in the breaking period and whatnot. But it was one of the best games that I've ever watched. Like, I had the time of my life. And then I was just noting that it is unfortunate that it was then dented by a flippant attempt at a joke of saying, I don't know, we'll have to invite the women too. Anyway, one more comment for you.
All right.
This is why we should repeal the 19th Amendment. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Anyway,
my God.
That is the way that it goes. But yes, it is going.
I hope these men are
As
lonely.
the kids say, viral.
There's a loneliness epidemic amongst dudes, and typically dudes who think like that.
And some
and say
woman
things
said the
like
loneliness epidemic isn't enough based on these comments. And I said, you know what? You might have a point. So yes, as I was watching Grizzlies Kings yesterday, my notifications were on at the time, and I was like, I need to turn these off.
Did anybody tell you on CNN?
No, only you.
Okay.
I would have had no idea.
Am I your most up-to-date friend?
Are you my furthest right only friend who watched CNN in the morning? I gotta say, this was something I learned about you today, that you watch CNN in the morning.
Yeah,
That's crazy, to get ready, to get the news.
Just to get a
pulse on the day.
Quick little dabble in there and then hop on back out. It's CNN, and then ABC does like a live news thing that's like an hour long. It's basically Sports Center, but for news. Okay. And I catch that.
Well, I'm happy to be in the hashtag group chat.
Oh, yeah, you were in the group chat.
Like, that hashtag group chat.
That's what they call it.
Maybe we should have an editorial meeting and say we don't
no,
use hashtags and we don't need to do the hashtag group chat.
You just need to let it be known, hey, this is what's going on in our group chat when we're talking news with our friends.
I did hear from some random people. You know something's taking off when you hear from the random high school classmate who's like, haven't seen you in a while, and you popped up on my For You page. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. And how do you feel about that?
just so you know, like, a high school friend. Are we gonna be friends going forward with this?
You all know I love sports, and I'll still be around sports. And for everybody who said, well, why don't you just not watch sports? Well, that wouldn't work out very well for somebody who has to talk about sports every day. And listen, for all you people who claim that you love sports, did you watch Grizzlies Kings last night? My dedication knows no bounds to the sport.
To sports in general.
Because
not only are you watching...
I'm watching MAC football on a Tuesday.
Oh, my God. You're watching MAC football on Tuesday. Whatever goofy-ass week 0 matchup we're going to get, it's going to be Hawaii versus Stanford. You're going to be like, yo, let me tell you, CJ, here's all the reasons you need to see Hawaii versus Stanford. Coming off the
University of Hawaii's win over Cal in the Hawaii Bowl, you bet I'll be talking about Hawaii football nice and early.
University of Hawaii's win over Cal in the bowl, which will have taken place damn near a year prior. Right? Like, it took place in December.
Think about it for a long time.
Oh, get out of here.
If you spend your Christmas Eve doing any other thing,
watching Grizzlies
what
Kings, watching week 0, watching the U.S. men's hockey team, watching U.S. women's hockey team, watching slalom or whatever the hell that's called. You're going to be watching preseason NFL action. Spring football is going to come up here real soon.
The
You'll be all
tomorrow.
into spring. You're into the combine. Get out of here.
Yeah, tough scene.
You're gross. You disgust me.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I'm gross with sports, and not caring about sports is not one of them. I assure you that. I do hope the Grizzlies use their next 10-day on a center. I did find myself thinking that last night. Just from a productivity standpoint, as DeMichael Cole said it perfectly, it's like Coach Tomas Isolo is coaching with one hand tied behind his back right now because you don't have a center. You don't have a natural person to play that position right now.
What's going to happen with Omax? Because he's got 9 more games left.
Great question.
Okay.
They might have to sign him to a contract.
Have to or get to?
That's a great question as well.
Okay.
Get to.
Get to?
I love Omax. I mean, for me, Omax has taken every opportunity that he has had this season and showed enough that I think, in terms of looking at him as, I was talking to Elliot Perry about this on the radio broadcast last night, just like a Brandon Clark adjacent player, but honestly has a little bit more of an offensive bag, his ability to put the ball on the ground, get to the basket, get to his spots. He has really great offensive instincts. Like, we all know Brandon has that floater that's great, and he has the bounce, and he's a great lob finisher. And Omax has all of that and a little more. He can make threes. He defends well. So
defends where well?
1 through 4. Okay. I think he gets a little stretched when you ask for him. He was your starting center last night, and that's where maybe there's not quite that ability to do a full 1 through 5 that you get with, because Brandon can guard 5s pretty capably. So I do think you run into a place where if you find the need to sign Omax because you need a body to play the rest of the season, I wouldn't be mad if Omax ends up getting that. But you look at all those two-way guys between Omax. Javon Small was really good last night. Like, when you're talking about future guards of the Grizzlies, you almost have to compare them to, okay, is this guy going to be better than Javon Small? And Javon Small had 21 and 9. Obviously, it's playing the Kings, and it's in a chaotic basketball setting, but I thought he was He was strong and has been strong over the course of the last few weeks.
I mean, it could have looked worse. It could have looked like Scottie Pippen Jr.
That was bad.
You know, and some of that is just like everybody's playing out of position but him, it seems like, because everybody's bumped down or bumped up, whichever way you want to look at it, a position. So you got Gigi, who, you know, you probably want on the perimeter. He's playing 4 or 5. You got Omax, who you probably want in that 3-4 range, running the 5. And so that might have led to some of it. Scottie Pippen Jr. was a pest on ball as a point of attack defender. But outside of that,
those 4 steals in 44 seconds were nice.
4 or 5?
It was 4 in 44 seconds,
Okay.
but it was 5 in the first half.
Got you. And so it's just like, all right, there might be something there, but I'm with you. If Javon Small continues to play like this, it's going to matter come draft time.
Yeah.
Because come draft time, you'll probably be mid to late first round, and you'll be looking around like, okay, do we go with a point guard? Do we go with a smaller guard? We got Small here. He's beyond serviceable. He might be somebody who's pretty dang good and we can rely on in that backup point guard sort of space. Or do we go with something a bit bigger? And instead of trying to address the size concerns behind Zach Edey, right? Because assume everybody is healthy. Everybody's healthy. Everybody comes back next year. Just assume so. It's not a whole lot of depth, correct me if I'm wrong, at that center spot. Center or like a big power forward
We're
spot.
looking at a roster right now that, yes, has a ton of injuries, but
even without the injuries,
even
there are
without the
holes.
injuries, when we were looking at how this roster was constructed, that was a concern. And now Edey's been out and Brandon's been out, and that has been a glaring absence. And you lose Darryn at the trade deadline, so that takes another piece out of your front court. And that brings us back to Omax, who has been playing great, but you do feel like you need more there at the moment.
And I mean, you could be looking at maybe not with the first pick that you have as a Grizzlies, but
the
like
second.
16, 17, 18, be looking at Gongba from Duke, or what's his name? Ivisic from Illinois, or somebody like that if you so desire.
Before we get to Mike, can I tell you my favorite part of the game last night?
Yes.
When Russell Westbrook stepped on the high noon and it sprayed everywhere.
Was that? I thought that
It
was
was a
spray.
nooner.
It was a high noon.
He stepped on a nooner. Watch this. And then he just sat in the stands afterwards, too.
Like, what is he supposed to do?
He had high noon all over him.
Kapow, it went everywhere.
Where's the
It got
other
on-
angle?
it
Here's
got
the
on
angle.
Scotty.
Here's the good angle. Watch that can, right? I know a nooner anywhere. Boom, bam, spray.
Oh.
And the woman was so apologetic. She just kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then he sat down. He was a good sport about it. But I was like, this time of year,
I mean, was he a
you
good
need
sport?
a little something to
Did
get
he-
you through the games. This happened early. I was like, that was fun.
Did he buy her another one?
That's
He
a good
spilled
question.
it. That's what good sports
Did he
would
buy
have
her a
done.
drink? Ooh, and we're going to get to hear it on the river.
I got money in the
bank. Shorty, what you think right now?
Shawty, what you think about that? What? That's not
I
even
don't know.
noise that he makes. Your man had noises and ad libs.
I told you, you've sent me into the abyss. Where
I
I
sent you
question
there.
everything. Yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. They're in the
Don't worry about it,
black.
Jessica. Just go to break, man.
Anyway, that was
See,
fun.
then clip this and throw it up there.
He'll be like, who's this idiot? All right, Mike Wallace is going to join us after a quick break. We'll get his take on the Grizzlies-Kings action last night. We'll go around the NBA. Spurs, the hottest team in the NBA at the moment. They won their 9th straight game, taking down the Pistons last night in a game where Victor Wembanyama was off. And then I read a stat line, and I'm like, that is an absurd thing to say about a man who put up this stat line tonight. We'll get into all of it with Mike Wallace on the other side.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Wells, a rhythm three. Yes, sir! Exclamation point on this game.
Grizz fans, defend your home court from pests with Terminix. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminix it with our pest-free 365-plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminix.com today and enter code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Go Grizzlies!
I risk my life to tell y'all these truths.
Cat Williams is back. Brand new material, a new tour, and the same legendary laughter he's delivered for decades.
Nick Cannon got 136 children, Jesus. Did you know that?
Always classic, always Cat.
White people are friendly. You can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning with the wrong number and they won't even be mad at you. Hello? No, I'm sorry. No Shaquita here.
The Golden Age Tour. March 6th in FedEx Forum. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
Tiger, I guess, probably delivered or created the biggest headline from the weekend by leaving open the possibility that he will play at the Masters.
I don't think it's very likely, but anything with Tiger seemingly throughout his career, even in the late stages coming off injuries, has been possible. I mean, it will take a Herculean effort, I would believe, Gary, for him to be able to make it. But I think, I'll say this, if it is all physically possible, I think he will do it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dome Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it's time to catch up with Grind City Media senior editor Mike Wallace. He joins us every Tuesday. He joins us now. Mike, how are you doing this morning?
Man, outside of basketball, you know what I mean? I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? I can't complain at all. You know what I mean? Everything is it's almost March. You know, my birthday comes up in March, and you know, at some point the weather's going to break and be consistent, and so I'm gonna keep the positive mindset. You know, like I said, I just got to be basketball agnostic right now.
I do think we're gearing up for a really fun NCAA tournament, like a really fun March Madness, as we're on the cusp of March. I was talking to Jalen, Director Jalen, about this last night, and I think Jacob was there for this too. Like, it's either going to be the biggest of the booms or it'll be a total bust. And you never know until you get to March Madness. Like, nothing is guaranteed, right? When the tournament, the bracket shapes up, because you can just get bad matchups that end up being just bummers or bad games or whatever. But like, I watch a team like Kansas last night that beats Houston. They're coming off a really disappointing loss to Cincinnati. Houston had lost 2 games of their own, so they're desperate. And Kansas gets the win. And Darryn Peterson played the whole game, not the whole game, but he finished the game. He played 30 minutes. He didn't have a very good game. He had 14 points on 5 of 14 shooting, 2 of 7 from 3. But Trey White was awesome, had a season-high 23 points. But that Kansas team, I watch them and I think, oh, they could go to the Final Four. They could win a championship. Or that's the kind of team that can get bounced in the first round. And I can make that case for a variety of teams. That Houston team, number 5 in the country, they've now lost 3 games in a row. So it is kind of an interesting variation of talent this year.
Houston lost to what? Number 4, number 7, and number 11, 14 or something like that. So, while, yes, they have lost 3 games in a row.
It's not like they've dropped silly games.
It's not like they're out here losing to Kansas State, right?
Or like Kansas losing to Cincinnati.
They're losing to teams who you could say, oh, that's an Elite 8 team. That's certainly a Sweet 16 type team right there. So.
Mike, where do you stand on the Darryn Peterson part of it all today? Because he does play 30 minutes last night. He was asked after the game about all the noise and the conversation surrounding him and this team, and he said he doesn't really pay attention to it. He also said that he has been a bit of an antisocial loner his whole life, which I know was just him trying to talk about who he is and not listening to the noise. But it was one more time where, like, I'm watching the game last night, I'm watching the highlights, and I'm thinking to myself, God, I so badly want to unabashedly buy all of this Darryn Peterson stock while it's so low, because he is such a phenomenal player. But then he says stuff like that, and even though he played 30 minutes last night, it just makes me a little nervous. Where do you stand at this point?
You know, I definitely have reservations about the kid, you know, not as a talent, not as a potential star, but just, you know, where he is right now. You know, he's you know, again, a freshman, right? So you got to understand there's going to be a learning curve. But if I'm a team, if I'm an NBA team or NBA general manager or president of basketball operations, am I looking at this guy with all the evidence that I've seen, at least the public-facing evidence, and saying, man, this is what I want to build my billion-dollar organization around? You know, I need a guy that's going to connect with the community. I need a guy that's going to take responsibility in the middle of a game. I need a guy that's going to be coachable. I need all of these things to be the foundation of my franchise, because if I'm taking him, I'm probably taking him at number 1 or number 2. And the history in this league tells you that 1 and 2 can be a hit and a miss in either one of those spots, right? So is this the guy that I want to lock in on? Am I ready to do that? And I don't see that in him. I would have some major reservations about him, number one. I just would, especially when you have other players that are going to be on the board, whether it's DeBansta, whether it's Boozer, whether it's it seems like they might be more surefire hits, at least psychologically and preparation-wise. I'm not ragging on him. I'm not saying he can't be a star. He could be Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard wasn't a big talker. He was kind of to himself. He was kind of aloof. You know, when he came into the league, and then look at what he is. I mean, he became a great player. So, you know, this guy can be either that or he can be the next, you know, Ben Simmons. And that was a tragic mistake at number 1 overall. It just didn't pan out.
I understand, but hindsight being what it is with a lot of these guys, but Ben Simmons and Kawhi and the Kobe comparisons keep coming through for him because of what he can do offensively for Peterson. They're all guys who at a certain point were real tough to manage from a personality standpoint by a front office, where it was, hey, this guy is really, really good, but we are struggling to manage him. And you have to be a strong front office and a strong franchise to be able to handle what that brings. Because if you draft him and he comes in there and he's phenomenal and he's great, you know you're going to have to pay him, and you know you're going to have to try and build around him. And the second things aren't going well, you have to be able to look at him and say, hey, trust us. Don't give up on us. Don't try and force your way out of this. We've got you. So you know what you're going to get, I think, as far as a draft prospect goes, on the court and off the court. You just, as a front office, have to decide if that's something that you're going to be able to handle or not.
Yeah,
you do. And that's you know, we've seen front offices handle it. I would say this. In Kawhi's case, he was never a headache in San Antonio from that standpoint.
He forced his way out, Mike.
That was at the end. He had already won championships.
At the beginning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning when he was coming into the league, you know, what happened with Kawhi in San Antonio was that there was a difference in opinion of how he needed to rehab coming off that knee surgery, that knee issue that he had. And that was after they had already won their championships and did everything. And he was coming up on a contract extension. His people saw, his camp saw his medical situation a little bit differently than the Spurs did. And Popovich being Popovich and that organization being as strong as it is, drew a line and stood their ground. And then it eventually led to him getting traded. So, you know, they handled that about as well as you can over the first 5, 6, 7 years of a player's career. In Ben Simmons' case, he was an issue from day one in Philly. Like, really, he really was an issue from day one. And some of the things that surfaced with him at LSU were red flags and warning signs from the very beginning. You know, he was a phenomenal talent, but that LSU team was crap. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and he couldn't get his team into the NCAA tournament. Like, that doesn't happen often from that standpoint. So, you know, Peterson is a different case. I'm not saying he's either this or that. It's just when you see these things and there's history, and you have a line of references throughout the history of the NBA, you're like, come on, man, do we want to do this again? And we'll see. He could just turn out to be great. I hope for his sake he can, but I see him acting like a mid-career superstar who's entitled coming into an NBA where he hasn't proven one thing yet. And that could be problematic for teams. And we see it every day. Like, look at what these organizations, including Memphis, is dealing with when it comes to these kind of players and these kind of personalities. And, it's either worth it or it isn't.
I did think last night in college basketball was a fair reminder, a bit of a reality check grounder. All of the top guys playing last night, or the projected top guys, and you didn't have Caleb Wilson, who's out for North Carolina until I believe early March is when they project him to come back. He wants to make it back for that Duke game on March 7th. But you had Michael Brown for Louisville going 9 of 25 in their loss. Kingston Flemings was 6 of 18 in the loss for Houston. And then Darryn Peterson 5 of 14. And off nights happen. By no means am I saying these guys projected to go in this generational draft are not allowed to have off nights in college basketball. But I did think it was an important reminder they're young and they are going to be young and there will be growing pains. Like, this isn't the kind of thing. Sure, you can say a player is ready to come into the league and can be an effective player, but this notion of an immediate Superman like flying down into a franchise and they're going to compete for a championship next year can be a little hyperbolic. And so I was like, okay, all right. And Kingston Flemings is a perfect, I really enjoy his game. I really have enjoyed watching him as we've dived further into the draft process. And he's had a bad couple of games shooting-wise. So it happens. He goes from having incredible shooting percentages to, I think he's down in like the mid-30s over the course of the last couple of games. So it happens. And that's just a very normal part of this process and their growth and evolution.
Yeah, and you're also seeing these high-level programs adjust to these freshmen. And as the season goes on, as the pressure ramps up, you're seeing freshmen play like freshmen a little bit, right? It's funny how it's either feast or famine for that group, because either all of them are having 30, 40, and 48-point games, or they're all shooting 5 for 15, right? And getting through some struggles. But the thing is, now that the games are starting to matter a lot more with seeding, and you're getting close to the conference tournaments, and now you're seeing these guys the second time around, adjustments are being made by the better coaches going against them. And they're trying to take away something and expose some of their weaknesses. So that's all part of it from that standpoint. I still think this is going to be a talented draft class coming in. But I also wonder, like, a lot of these guys are going to be going to lottery teams that have been struggling for a while, with the very few exceptions. Like, whoever Indiana gets, if they get a top 4 pick, that kid is going to come into an Indiana team that was in the finals the year before, that's getting Halliburton back, that has Siakam, that has Zubac, that has a ready-made NBA Eastern Conference playoff contending team to go to. So that situation can flip overnight if they get the right guy to mix in with that. But if you're Sacramento, or if you're Memphis, or if you're Washington, or if you're anybody like that, you don't know. You don't know how those things are you're going to be building around this young guy more so than him being the final piece to a roster that's already made to put you over the top.
Yeah, I find the Jazz such an interesting component in all of that. And obviously they're trying to elevate to the Kings level of shutting down players. And we talked earlier in the show, like, this is not in regards to Vince Williams Jr., who suffered a catastrophic, very real basketball injury last night, partially thanks to a dirty play from Tari Eason. We'll call it what it is. But earlier in the day, the Jazz shut down Yusuf Nurkic for nose surgery. And I was like, what are you, a high school girl at Beverly Hills High School trying to undergo a deviated septum to have a, like, mid-summer break nose job? Like, maybe he has problems breathing through his nose, and this is the opportunity to get some things cleared up. But I was like, come on.
Why'd you take a shot at the high school girl in Beverly Hills?
Because I know her.
Oh, okay.
Because I know her.
Yeah. She's speaking from references, man. She's speaking from history. She knows these people.
I show up at USC and I hear this story from this girl I meet in Welcome Week. And she was like, yeah, I was just, I would like pray that I would get hurt in a game. She's like, I played all these sports and I would just like purposely try to get popped in the nose so I could break my nose, so I could have nose surgery to get a new, because I hate my nose. And she goes, and one day my parents were like, do you just want a new nose? And so next thing you knew, she had a deviated septum, and she got a new nose. And I was like, wow, I am not in Highlands Ranch, Colorado anymore. I am somewhere else. So anyway, now
Yeah, I thought that was the LA California story for you. That's a Colorado story.
no,
Man.
that was an LA. No, that was an LA story. That was my first
Oh,
week
okay.
after
I
moving
got
from
you.
Colorado
I
to
got
Los
you.
Angeles and understanding that I was in a whole
Yeah.
new universe of places.
Now,
Do I
to
need
tie
to
that
know
all the way
still?
back to Nurkic though, like I already thought he was shut down. So that's not
Right.
like
They
hold
just
on,
needed
I
an
don't
official
know.
designation on it at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
I know you're
yeah.
probably
That's
like me, where you're so tired of the tanking conversation, which it's February 24th, and it is fresh on the mind because we did watch the Sacramento Kings and the Memphis Grizzlies play a basketball game last night, and the Kings, to their credit, didn't lose 17 in a row. They stopped that losing streak at 16. However, there was that report last week on Adam Silver's call with the league GMs, and I did want your opinion on kind of the messaging that he sent to teams that this is going to be enforced next year. And I was reading I believe it was either The Athletic or the ESPN's run through of it, where there's a story that he told Sean Marks, the Nets GM, during the call. Marks essentially asked, like, can you assume that next season, like, this will all be implemented? And Silver's response was, like, pretty pointed, and he said, quote, "You could assume next season your only incentive will be to win games." And it was laid out in the kind of like framing of, are we seeing a more forceful Adam Silver moving forward? Is this going to be the issue that forces him to become maybe a little more unlikable to some of these GMs? And I'm curious your take on it coming out of the comments from All-Star Weekend and what we've heard since.
Yeah, I think when Adam Silver is backed into a corner on some things, he does come out strong, right? Like he's more of a players kind of commissioner. He leans heavily towards them, at least publicly, in a lot of things that goes on. He's accommodating in a lot of ways. But right now, man, this guy has so many battles on so many fronts right now that his back is against the wall, right? He's still trying to wait out the thing that happens with Ballmer and the Clippers, right? And Kawhi Leonard. He's had some of the other issues come forward with now owners publicly going out and ridiculing him or his leadership style. And the controversies go on and on and on from that standpoint. So on this one, this is one firmly in the commissioner's control as it relates to the board of governors and the competition committee. So he can offer his full weight into this. Whereas, the Kawhi stuff is a federal investigation to a certain extent. The betting scandals are kind of out of his hands, when it comes to those things. So this one is one he could say, listen, the stakeholders in this league have to do something about this because it's impacting the bottom line. I think it's driven by the TV partners who are having to cancel out of and back out of a lot of these games that they had on the schedule when you're having two teams or at least one team that's not even trying to be competitive. And it's going to impact the integrity of your playoff race because a lot of these teams on the other side are going to be facing teams that are purposely trying to lose from that standpoint. So it's an integrity issue, and I think he has come out strong. And really, this is about as strong as I've seen him since – when he came out and said the previous Clippers owner, had to go, because of some racist comments that he made, back in the day. I guess that was about 10 or so years ago, when it came to that. So he has had moments where he's had to be stronger than others. And I do think that this something has to be done and it will be done. I think we still will emerge from this with a draft. I just think there has to be a way where you don't incentivize the very worst group of teams where you have 10 teams all trying to get into the final 4 spots.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was great. I was looking at the standings today, just wondering realistically where the Grizzlies, the lowest they could fall, right? And you find yourself realizing it's damn near impossible to make it below 6 because those teams are so steadfastly atrocious, right? Like we have 26, 27 games left, and I think the Jazz are obviously the Mavericks, so there's a battle there between who will finish 7th with the 7th worst record in the NBA and the 8th worst record in the NBA. And then it's like a 4-game difference between the Grizzlies and the Jazz. But then you get into the Pelicans, the Kings, the Nets, the Wizards, the Pacers, and it's just unchaseable. And I guess that's a good thing to some degree. It should be, right.
It should be unchaseable. Like the only team that, and I'll say this, the only team that probably should be down there is Indiana. Right. I get why they are down there. Right. They didn't intend to be bad this year. They had a horrific injury to their best player. And, it just became what it had to become. It's a reset year from that standpoint. Right. Boston could have been in that same situation. But you know what? They had a player that said, I want to be an MVP and show my leadership more so than I want to go into the lottery. That's why I respect the hell out of Jaylen Brown so much, man. That's the reason why he's my favorite, one of my favorite players in the league, if not the favorite, is because he said, I've never had a losing record since I've been on this team, and I'm not going to have one this year. He said that coming into the year. And nobody expected Boston to be what they were. And look at where they are right now, whether Tatum comes back or not. This was supposed to be a reset year for them, and they chose not to have it go down like that because of their legacy, because of their culture, because of what they stand for. You look over in the West. Phoenix is the same way. Phoenix had no reason to try to be competitive this year, right? And they just didn't. You know what I mean? They made the trade. They got off of Kevin Durant. They had to reset after the Bradley Beal mistake. And then you bring in a guy, Jalen Green, who couldn't even play for the first, until like this past week. Dylan Brooks wasn't a proven commodity as a scorer. He turned around and said, I'm going to have my best year. He's had his best year. Booker's been an all-star again. And people are still trying to figure out how is Phoenix still this good. It's because they put in the effort to try to care about this season, man. So teams could have gone that route and they didn't. But so many other teams have, and it's a black mark on the league because of that in a lot of ways. And that's why Silver has to come out so publicly and clearly and say something.
Before I let you go, I did want to get your take on the Spurs-Pistons game last night. Spurs, the hottest team in the NBA. They've now won 9 straight after taking down the Pistons in a very physical, very fun game. I would love those two teams in the finals. It would be quite the NBA finals if we got Spurs-Pistons with a lot going on. And I thought to myself last night a couple of times, Isaiah Stewart's not even out there at this exact moment because he's taking a mandated break from the team. However, I did want to ask because, I'm in the middle of the Grizzlies-Kings game. I'm trying to keep track of everything for the radio broadcast. And I saw a tweet roll across my page that said, Spurs beat Pistons on an off night for Victor Wembanyama. So I go to the box score, and I'm like, what is an off night for Victor Wembanyama? And I look at his points first, and it's 21 points. And they say, all right. 6 of 16 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 7 of 8 at the free throw line. Sure, off night offensively. But then I continue going through, and this man has 17 rebounds, 8 on the offensive glass, and 6 blocks. And if you are telling me that 21 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 blocks is an off night, oh, buddy, we're in trouble. The NBA community is in trouble. I was like, that is absurd. And Devin Vassell had a great game for the Spurs. The defensive efforts of Stephon Castle and what he did to Cade Cunningham, combined with what Victor Wembanyama just naturally gives as someone who stops everything down there. But Cade was 5 of 26. This Spurs team is now 2.5 games behind the Thunder, Mike. And I do think that's one of the most exciting races moving forward is, can the Spurs catch the Thunder?
And we know they have the tiebreaker, Jessica. We know they have the tiebreaker. So, yes, this is going to be an intrigue. Oklahoma City better get its act together because there may be 28 other teams that they don't have to worry about in the NBA. They could just go beat them straight up. San Antonio is looking like they might be the one team that they will have an issue with. So they better hope that it goes 1-2 and they don't have to see each other until the conference finals and that the Spurs get tripped up because this is looking like it's going to be a real threat. I still like Denver as a better matchup, but at the end of the day, man, San Antonio is right there so fast.
And everybody hope that they can find some antidote to Victor Wembanyama in their life. Mike, thank you for joining us.
That exists.
As always, it does not exist, I don't think. We will see you next week. Have a good one. We appreciate you.
Y'all too.
That was Mike Wallace. You can always find his latest at grindcitymedia.com. We have to take a break. Will Coleman just walked in the studio. He will join us in the next segment. We'll get his thoughts on Penny Hardaway's comments from his radio show last night. He told Memphis fans, you have the right guy. We'll get Will's take on that. Plus, he's going to give us his 5 best bigs in college basketball this season to look out for. That's all when we come back.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
How are you able to release and have an instrumental song become a huge deal?
And I forget who the disc jockey was, but he put the wrong side on. He put the Green Onions by mistake and played the B side instead of the A side.
No!
And that's when the change happened. These people started to call the station and say, play that song again.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means Will Coleman joins us in studio. He joins us every Tuesday. He joins us now. Will, we don't have the bones anymore. The battle of the bones has been a battle of sadness for the Memphis Tigers. Football, basketball. I'm not even going to ask you about Sunday's game in its totality. 4th straight loss for the Memphis Tigers. 3 of those 4 losses coming by double digits. I did want to ask you about Penny Hardaway's comments from his radio show last night, because it was really the first time that he has publicly addressed his future. Mm-hmm. And this was the statement that he gave on his radio show last night. Quote, "I'm fully invested in this thing. That's why I'm here. You know, I'm a retired basketball player that's coaching at his alma mater. Think about it. I retired in 2008 and I started coaching. And now I'm here at my alma mater living my dream out, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. Obviously not the losing, but when it comes to battle, you have the right guy." He was asked about the future. Said he hasn't thought that much about the future. I mean, I can't overlook the next game. I'm not thinking about next season. I'm not thinking about what if. Right now, we're still in the battle. We're blessed enough to still be able to control our destiny to get to the American tournament, and anything can happen in the tournament. We're not going to quit. We're going to fight. Your takeaway from those comments?
I will always cheer for my Tigers, and I always root for my Tigers. And I think any avid fan is allowed to be upset. Like your true fans, they're allowed to be upset, but they're still going to root for their guys. It's just being able to be a dominant program year in and year out is incredibly tough. And I just hate it for Penny because he's under a lot of scrutiny for sure. But it's like programs have down years. Programs have bad years. Now, if we're, and I know Penny can't speak on the future, but I will. Now, if Penny is here next year and if we have another 2 or 3 seasons like this, then yeah, okay, let's start to panic. But I just don't see why, they're beating up as bad. They're beating him up as bad as they are. Rightfully so, we're down bad right now. But it's like every program has laws, and we're just in a very bad one right now.
Memphis went to the tournament last year.
Yeah.
Memphis won the conference tournament.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
So those are factual things that happened last year. And I certainly understand why someone outside of the city might not get it, and people within the city might not get it either. Because again, like you said, it's very frustrating to lose in the fashion that this team is. It's very frustrating to watch a team perform like this Tigers team, frankly. And Penny has talked about it throughout the season. This is uncharted territory for him, and he's tired of losing. He expressed it again also at the radio show last night. Like, I'm freaking tired of losing. For people outside of the city, might not get it. Inside, you see where he means so much to this city. You want to give him every possible chance, and not from a favor standpoint, not from an act of charity, simply from a matter of the best case scenario is Penny Hardaway is a great, successful coach that takes this Memphis team to the tournament and has them declaratively the best team in the American. And you're hopeful that 1 year removed from this year, you could turn it around. There's been a lot of talk about the potential hiring of a general manager, which is a common practice in college basketball. A lot of the top programs have it. What do you think about a GM, and if that could, in your opinion, help Penny and this Tigers team moving forward?
When you think about the role of a GM, and it's like, I hear people doing it and I see people doing it, but for what? Like what would that help in terms of, for me, I'm just kind of like, at the end of the day, we got players on the floor who need to play and win. And it's like, are we managing the team? Are we managing wins? Are we managing the coaches? Are we managing the I see it happening, but it still doesn't make sense to me, and maybe I'm in the dark from that aspect, or maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe I sound crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, the guys got to want to win. In the way, in the ways that we're losing, I don't necessarily think it's bad coaching. We're not making free throws. We're turning the ball over. Guys aren't playing together. Are we managing that?
If it's not bad coaching, then that means it's bad talent. And isn't that what a general manager would help you be able to go out there and do?
Yeah, yes, I agree with that. But are we talking general manager? Is it a former player? Is it just somebody who's assessing the talent? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to. I see both sides to it.
It can be a former player, but everybody's doing it. Everybody at the highest level.
This is the new way of college
has a general manager.
Football,
basketball. If you want to find a way, and it takes pressure off of your coach. It allows your coach to focus more on the coaching side of things. It
also depends what kind of, the way I understand it, there are some general managers who have more of a coaching role, right? So depending on where you feel there is a deficiency, that general manager can either serve as a pseudo coach for the team alongside. And I see, as a former player, you're kind of shaking your head a little bit, and maybe the idea of having a lot of cooks in a kitchen and not knowing who is in charge in that case. But also a GM can be responsible for the recruiting, aka these days the construction and the financial construction of a team and what those players look like.
And actual construction again.
Yes.
This team was not constructed well. This is not a good team.
Yeah.
So having another set of eyes on hey, this is who we're going after in the transfer portal. Okay, cool. But hey, by the way, just so you know, Coach Hardaway, as a general manager, I think you should take a look at this 3-star, 4-star kid over here, because I think we can get him. I think we can get him to stay. So go ahead and go look at that, because once these transfers leave, we don't want to have to keep cycling through hoping to hit on the transfer portal. I can help you get some of these high school recruits who will stay long enough for you to be able to build a culture, so you're not always having a cultural reset season after season in this new era of college sports.
Yeah. So does that mean, if we have a general manager this year and we're playing this bad, so does that mean, our general manager sucks, we need to get him out of here, versus
Yes.
Penny Hardaway
Both.
So that's what I'm trying to like.
So, for example, right now, I wanted to double check. That's what I was trying to look because I thought this was the case. Like, Arkansas has a general manager.
Right.
So, John Calipari, widely considered not just a great coach, and even though how things ultimately end at Kentucky, but now what he's doing at Arkansas this year, having them back, and also seen as one of the great recruiters and developers of talent. It's somebody who has a general manager. So, it doesn't have to be this ego hit. Like, greats are understanding that within the context of how college athletics are going, and especially the importance of the transfer portal, right? Like, this gives you somebody who, while you're focused on managing the particulars of a season, once you get into it as the head coach of a team, this person can constantly have a pulse or build out their staff, their own individual staff, the people who report to the GM, to have a pulse on D2, JUCO, guys who, even high school guys that you might want to start looking into.
And guys on your team, right? Guys on your team. Like, the general manager could theoretically, hypothetically speaking, reckless right here, general manager could have handled the PJ Haggerty situation, right? Where it is, hey, Coach Hardaway, you're in season. Go ahead and coach. Focus on that. Recruiting, focus on that. Hey, PJ, what's going on, man? They're offering you how much? Okay. All right, let me see what we can do over here on our end. And that person's sole job could have been to help try and keep PJ Haggerty around instead of watching him go to Kansas State.
It's also a good default guy. I have a friend who's a general manager in the college football space, and we sat down this summer, and I was just like really trying to get a grasp of what is your job. And so all the things we just mentioned, but also it allows for, as this becomes more of a business, you're able to have someone more of like the boss type, where when players and egos and like who's getting paid what, it helps manage those relationships too. Instead of it being the coach's fault that I'm getting paid X and my teammate, who I think is underperforming in comparison to me, is making more money than me, a player comes to the coach and is like, Coach, what gives? Now that player goes to the general manager, and it saves that step of like discontent from seeping into the basketball side of it. It's more in the operations side of it. I know it's a lot. I know.
It's a couple things, man. To your point, when you brought up the ego point, I mean, Penny Hardaway has openly said, I basically need to get out of my own way. And so there's that ego portion. Is Penny okay with, kind of taking that back seat and just kind of like, okay, I'm going to let somebody do their thing. And secondly, to your point of the general manager, like you say, a player going to the coach, what gives? It's just, the college space has just gotten so muddy, because then it starts flirting with, to me, in my opinion, if you got somebody barking about the money that they're making, start flirting with, agent territory, or like
where we're at.
Negotiating.
That's where we're at.
So if you're going to have a GM, so you're going to be an agent for 12 guys on your roster, hey, coach, or hey, donors or whoever, to your, I know it's hearsay, but like Haggerty's trying to leave because K-State's giving him $3 million. Hey, I need y'all to fork over another $1 million so we can get Haggerty to stay. Okay, I mean, I get it. I get it.
You're stuck on when you were playing. You guys couldn't do that, Will, but we can do that now. Now that it's above board, we can do that.
Hey, maybe I'm a little jealous too, but
yeah, you jealous as hell. It's okay.
I get it.
And I also get, for somebody who was genuinely in it, it's such a dramatic shift from what you experienced. And so it adds this whole other layer to it that can be difficult to not grasp, but embrace.
Right.
It's like the standard, take it outside of sports. It's always a construct of life that when something changes, those of us who went through our version of life, be it a job or school or whatever, we're like, hey, I don't like that because that's not the way that it was for me. And a part of it's based on understanding, because you know what you know, right? You know what you went through. And so to watch this transpire in the way that it has can be convoluting for the brain to get into. Yeah. But that is where we are. And the Tigers are in a bad spot. And I know the big conversation has become, they could miss the American Conference tournament. Technically, they could. It'd be really hard. It would be how hard? I'll tell you how hard. The top 10 teams in the American make the tournament, so 10 of 13. And right now, Memphis is currently in 7th, and they are one of 4 teams with 7 wins. It's them, it's Temple, it's North Texas, and it's FAU. Rice is 5-9 in conference play. ECU's 4-10, UTSA's 1-14. So you're not catching like they're trying like an NBA team to catch them. You're not at risk, I'll say, of moving past ECU and UTSA. Rice is the questionable shifter, but that would require a real surge from Rice and a real further bottoming out for Memphis or any of those teams that also have the 7 wins. So you're likely still making the tournament. I understand it's insane that we're even having to have the conversation.
The fact that we having this conversation leaves the possibility.
Which shows how bad this year has gone.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy about it, but just the way we've played these last couple games, you know, once I get home, I'm going to sit down and really look at the rest of the remainder of the season. But it's like, I mean, is that a far-fetched question? Like missing the tournament? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it would be. All right, we had an exercise for you because we cannot talk Tigers all the time because it is depressing as hell.
Yeah.
So we're focused on college basketball at large, and obviously we're looking at it both from the standpoint of March Madness is around the corner, and also the NBA draft through the lens of the Grizzlies, who will have 2 first-round draft picks, and it's exciting to think who those players could be. I know, CJ, last week when I wasn't here, had you do guards. Mm-hmm. This week we are doing your 5 best bigs. Are we saying it bigs? Okay, your 5 best bigs in college basketball this season. So who do we got?
So we got Caleb Boozer. Excuse me, I said Caleb. We got Cameron Boozer. Who else I have on my list? I had JT Toppin. Who else? I got Graham, EK, Gonzaga. I got Zuby. And I got Caleb Wilson from UNC. Now, there are so many things, there's so many similarities with these guys. With the exception of Toppin, you know, a lot of these guys have exceptional footwork. Toppin reminds me a lot of me, you know, just explosive, aggressive, get to the basket. But a lot of these other guys, you know, they're able to handle the ball. They're able to, you know, get up and down the court with the ball. A lot that I like about, you know, 4 of those 5. Toppin, when he get the ball, he's looking to get to that rim to score. You know, the other guys, they're a little more methodical. Footwork is great. They're able to make plays out of the post. And I think Boozer's leading the charge on that front as far as, you know, making more decisions out of the post and getting the ball to his guards to make things happen. I really love Boozer at the high post. I think he's an exceptional player at the high post, can put the ball on the floor a little bit better than a lot of these guys. Caleb Wilson the same. Can really put the ball on the floor. His mid-range is, you know what the young folks say, his bag is a little deeper than everybody else. You know, and I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago, you know, how Wilson, you know, got the ball in the post, pump fake, got to the rim, got the ball, came back, pump fake, up and under, got to the rim. Came back to the ball, you know, came back to the post, and just so many different variations of the moves that he wanted to have down low. Shoot the 3 ball, can put the ball on the floor a little bit. So I really love Wilson, but of those 5, I mean, Boozer's he's just my favorite. It's just been high on
Which
him.
is why he is in a draft that is considered so deep. There's still
deep,
a very clear
deep.
There's a clear 1-2, and in my opinion, there's a clear 1-2-3, and I include Cameron Boozer in that 1-2-3. I want to ask you about Graham Ike, the Gonzaga big, because this week, Mark Few talked about how he is a really underrated player in college basketball this season, and we're focusing so much on this freshman class, and rightfully so. There's a lot of buzz, and freshmen make the crossover between NBA fans and college basketball fun, and it brings more people into the conversation, so I'm all for it. But Graham Ike, Coach Few said this is someone who should pop up on first team All-American, and he's delivering night in, night out. Just what have you seen from him that makes you believe he's one of the top 5 bigs in the country?
I think the reason he is, I don't want to say overlooked, but I think the reason he's not popping up, you know, as much as all these other guys is because I don't think he's very flashy. Mm-hmm. He still plays, and I've watched him a little bit. He still plays as a traditional big versus, you know, guys putting the ball on the floor, trying to get to the rim, shooting a 3 ball, those hybrid bigs that we're seeing out of these other 4. He's still a very much get to my spot, burying my defender, hook shot, soft touch around the rim. And I think the game has gotten to a point to where your average basketball consumer is going to see that as boring.
Mm-hmm.
Old school, because he's not flying around the rim, dunking on 7 different people.
Well, it's one of the reasons why when you look at mock drafts, is usually in the second round.
Right. And it's like, yeah, the game is transforming and it's different, but to have a guy who's still willing to bang in that back-to-basket game, I think it's still alluring to a lot of people, and he does it very well.
And I think from tournament experience time, because we're talking a lot about those freshmen.
Yeah.
But what have we seen traditionally lead to success in the tournament?
And upperclassmen.
An experienced big and an experienced guard. And those can swing a team's fortunes because they just tournament play is different. And I really look at that EK. Obviously, Gonzaga has such a consistent track record of success too, and Coach Few and whatnot. But I really like his play. I was glad to see
same
that he
with
popped up on
Toppin.
your list.
I mean, he's a senior, and it's easy to argue, say, well, he's a senior, he's supposed to be averaging a double-double and things like that. But when you play in elite competition, I don't care. You play in elite competition, if you can average 20 and 10, I mean, that says something.
Yeah, 22 and 11 is what he's averaging. I'm saddened that he's not going to be there for the tournament.
Yeah.
That pick and roll with him and Christian Anderson,
it's insane.
Would have been something special to get to sit down and watch, especially
can't
with
guard
everything on the line.
Injuries suck.
Injuries are a tough part of it, but hey, we'll wait 2 years. He'll probably be back.
Yeah, and I thought Gary brought up such a good point on our show yesterday, where because of how college basketball is now, because these guys are getting paid, you have someone like a JT Toppin that essentially signs a 2-year contract with Texas Tech, and he'll spend the next year getting his degree and pursuing vigorous rehabbing from tearing his ACL, and then he'll pop back up in 2 years, and he'll make $1 million in the process. So it's not this like devastating. You know, if you used to be a prospective draft prospect going into the last couple of months of your college season, or even in the tournament, we would see it every year. Someone has a devastating injury that ultimately leads to their draft stock dropping, and it completely changes the immediate trajectory of their professional career.
Right.
Now you have an opportunity where he can spend the rehab process still in college,
school.
getting paid in school, come back, have that year serve as a get your feet back wet into the actual gameplay, and then hopefully you're looking at a case where your draft stock has actually risen despite having to go through all that.
Right. Yeah. It's still trying to wrap my head around this.
We're all trying, Will.
So nuts. You in school 9 years. What is this? What is this?
We talked yesterday, and one of the names you brought up when you and I were conversing was Vassar, the North Carolina big. And I looked at your list. I'm trying to remember, but I think you had all forwards, no centers in there from the big man's perspective. He's a center.
Yeah.
Mara is a center for A-Day. Mara for Michigan is a center.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about Vassar and North Carolina, man?
Just again, same with EK. You know, you got that traditional just big. It's not really. I don't want to say it's fleeting, but you just don't see it anymore. You got so many guys who are trying to elevate their game so they can put the ball on the floor, so they can open up an offense, so they can shoot the three, so they can play at the high post. But when you got a guy like, Vassar, who's just in there just wreaking havoc in the paint, I still think that's fascinating. Some people don't.
I mean, you brought it up with Mike Jessica about how, what's my man's name, Louisville guard,
Michael Brown.
Mike Brown Jr., you brought up how he struggled last night. When watching that game, he was making threes, and North Carolina said, okay, send him straight into the paint. Vassar's going to be there, and let's see what he does. And he could not finish through him or over him. There was a couple of times he just ran smack dab into a wall, which was Vassar, and there was nothing that could be done.
Right.
He's a really good paint deterrent at this level.
And it's like even, guards, that gets annoying, constantly running into somebody and you can't get a shot off or you can't finish over a big. And it's not even like you ain't even got to be, when you just a solid force in the paint, you don't have to be the most athletic guy. A lot of coaches just say, hey, just wall up. Literally just stand there and wall up. Just wall up, man. And then just make somebody finish over you. No matter how many times the guards scream, hey, whatever. When they make contact, you wall up, get those hands behind those ears. Because that's what a lot of hey, man, get those hands back. Get those hands behind those ears, wall up, and you got that guard got to make a play. You either going to throw up a crazy shot, or if you run into Darryn Peterson, he might try you at the rim. You know, depending on if he's healthy or not.
Yeah.
Or how if he feel like playing.
He played 30 minutes last night.
He did. But
Hey, CJ and I aren't healthy enough to do 116 squats. Oh, my leg.
Jacob wouldn't put me on screen.
Oh,
He said, no, I'm
no.
saving you from yourself. You can't do that.
Man, 116 squats is kind of crazy. Y'all shit this one out, man.
At 9 in the morning.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Without stretching.
I like early morning workouts. I prefer
So do I.
I do too,
early
but
morning
116
workouts.
squats?
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that.
Chris does this little, like, Tai Chi workout in the morning while I'm getting ready.
Why would you share that with us? Why would you share that with me?
Because it's kind of fun. Because I did it with him yesterday, and I was like, I should be doing this in the morning. It, like, really loosens your body up.
Have y'all seen Sean T lately?
Hip hop ab Shanti?
Yes.
No, I have not seen hip hop ab Shanti in a
Let
minute.
me tell you something. Look up Sean T right now on your computer. I think he's gotten into bodybuilding. Dude's massive. I don't know where it came from or.
Hold on, I'm looking him up. I have not thought of Shanti.
Man, look at how Buddy looks right now.
Just-
That man is jacked.
Yeah, he is.
Full of
I
tattoos.
mean, he's always been jacked, but he's like.
Is he like Mike Bibby jacked?
No, Buddy
Mike
like.
Bibby went
No,
away and came
he's
back.
like-
His arms was out to like there.
Nah, he bigger than Mike Bibby.
Oh, word? Okay.
He is a large,
Dude
muscly
huge,
man.
bro. Dude huge.
God, now you have me like. There was this rhyme that he would use. It was like,
Find it.
Da 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 da, with me Shanti.
See? Come on. Get it, Jay.
Those were the days.
Get it,
All
Jay.
right, God, girls. Perfect segue into CJ and my next segment, which we'll talk about the America's Next Top Model documentary that dropped on Netflix that had everybody my age trying to do hip hop abs because we were all told that we were fat from a young age. Because if a model who was 105 pounds was fat, oh boy, the rest of us were doomed from the start.
That's kind of crazy.
It was a little crazy. Well, thank you so much for joining us, as always. We will take a break. We'll come back. We'll do TV Tuesday. Plus, we've got news about a fight happening at the Sphere that is just absurd that it's happening. We'll get into all that after a quick break.
Simply amazing. Wells, a rhythm three. Yes, sir! That's an exclamation point on this game.
Grizz fans, defend your home court from pests with Terminix. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminix it with our pest-free 365-plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminix.com today and enter code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Go Grizzlies!
I risk my life to tell y'all these truths.
Cat Williams is back. Brand new material, a new tour, and the same legendary laughter he's delivered for decades.
Nick Cannon got 136 children, Jesus. Did you know that?
Always classic, always Cat.
White people are friendly. You can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning with the wrong number and they won't even be mad at you. Hello? No, I'm sorry. No Shaquita here.
The Golden Age Tour, March 6th in FedEx Forum. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Tiger, I guess, probably delivered or created the biggest headline from the weekend by leaving open the possibility that he will play at the Masters.
I don't think it's very likely, but anything with Tiger seemingly throughout his career, even in the late stages coming off injuries, has been possible. I mean, it will take a Herculean effort, I would believe, Gary, for him to be able to make it. But I think, I'll say this, if it is all physically possible, I think he will do it.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
We've got a special deal for all the fans of this show. We have a special discount code for up to 30% off select Grizzlies tickets just by using the promo code GCMFan. That means ticket prices for games are low, so head over to grizzgroups.com/GCM and lock in your discounted seats. Again, that's GCMFan at grizzgroups.com/GCM. Do not miss out. Next home game is tomorrow night against the Golden State Warriors. Before we get into what we are watching, one, we've decided our draft tomorrow will be hotel amenities in honor of, why is that a boo? You told me, you said
the chat
we're going to
suggested
draft
it.
hotel
The
amenities.
chat suggested
Well, I think it's a funny idea. It's a topical idea.
Whatever.
We can help save Memphis hotel
Can we?
reputations. They can watch our draft.
Is it the entire city or just downtown?
I can't speak for anyone. I only have people who have stayed in the hotels downtown.
It feels like it's a downtown thing.
And I got to give all the credit. I mean, I don't stay at the Peabody. I go to the Peabody Spa because that downtown discount is one of the greatest perks of living downtown in the city. And I think it's lovely. But I don't stay there. I don't sleep in their beds. So I cannot speak for that, Mr. Anthony Edwards. Not that they stayed at the Peabody.
They don't stay at the Peabody. I was at the Peabody maybe 2017, 2018. So that's nearly a decade ago. And it was great. They had nice little robes you could put on. It was like, I wonder how many people.
Don't give away my number one pick.
How many people have put on robes? Oh, really? Robes.
Oh, I love a fluffy robe.
Okay. That's the only hotel I've ever stayed in that had a robe for me when I came in.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It was good stuff. All right, hotel amenities.
All right, hotel amenities. Also, this was a real headline that I read in 2026. It's 2026.
Like an
Can I
actual
remind you
one?
it's 2026?
Yes.
It's an actual headline, not a non-CJ headline. Because CJ absolutely does not write the headlines.
I don't do headlines.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. 2 of the greatest icons in boxing history will meet again in the first ever professional boxing match at Sphere in Las Vegas. Saturday, September 19th on Netflix. You have to be kidding me. We are over a decade past the fight of the century. And I remember when the fight of the century rolled around, it felt like the fight of the century came 5 years too late. And now in 2026, we're going to have Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao again.
Hey, that's what this sport has become.
They're a combined 96 years old.
The sport has become celebrity fighting. That's what the sport is now.
This is like an AARP fight.
Okay. Like Jake Paul is able to go out there and beat up old men. Why not?
Old men versus old men?
Old men versus old men. Let's go.
We don't need this.
It's going to do numbers. What do you mean?
I know everybody's going to watch
Like,
it. It
that's
is
what-
yet
it
again
is
a
what we need,
reminder.
'cause
This
we
is all
need
about
money.
cream, cash rules, everything all around me.
man.
Like this is what this is all about.
And who's Mike Tyson fighting?
Mayweather.
Oh, Mayweather.
In an exhibition
Mayweather
event.
just getting
That's
checks.
the thing. As I was reading through,
Mayweather must have lost some money on them gambling.
let me tell you, Mayweather filed a lawsuit earlier this month against Showtime Networks, alleging the company helped facilitate an extended fraud scheme that denied him $340 million in earnings. Then poof, a couple weeks later, out of retirement, going to do an exhibition match with Mike Tyson in the spring, and now he is scheduled to fight Manny Pacquiao at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
When?
September 19th.
Oh, he's double dipping? Okay.
On Netflix. So if you have a Netflix subscription, you can watch it.
Why would you?
This is the ultimate recession indicator. Which we always just get recession indicator, so that
But
feels
how is
like
this
it's
the
becoming
ultimate
an
recession
overused
indicator?
Because those two need to fight again to make some money. Those two need to come out of retirement. How long has Mayweather been retired?
I don't know. He's been old. He was old a decade ago.
He was old
Like,
a
he was
decade
boxing
ago.
old a decade ago. He did
I mean, I think he retired in 2017.
Okay. Well, listen. There's money to be made. There's money in them there hills. Got to go out there and get paid.
There's gold in that sphere.
Yeah, got to go out there and get paid, man.
In the same place they put the Wizard of Oz. You now get Mayweather Pacquiao
Wizard of
in
the Ring.
2026. Maybe they can have the tornado sound effects and wind effects continue onward.
That'll make
I had
it
a
more
friend who went and
interesting.
saw the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere,
I've had a couple of people do
and
that.
she said it was absolutely incredible.
Oh, good.
I want to go to the Sphere for a show.
What show?
A show.
Okay.
The right show. Not this one. I don't need... Because they'll probably... That actually seems kind of crazy. Because they'll obviously have the ring down on the floor area. And then I would assume they will have 360.
Oh.
Like that fight will be...
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You'll just look up and there'll be nothing but fights. Got you.
Nothing but 46 on 47-year-old crime.
Love 46 on 47.
6'7".
Mm-hmm.
It kind of went away.
Yeah, that's what trends do.
I know, but you never know when it's gonna finally fade away into the great
And
abyss.
nothing takes its place. It just goes away.
Well, something will eventually. I don't know what the kids are saying right now.
Yeah, but it's not going to ever be as cool as Summer of 6'7".
We'll always have the summer of
We'll
6'7".
always have the Summer of 6'7".
I was like, isn't there a song? But that's the summer of 69.
Well, yeah.
Back in the summer of 69. 6'7". All right, you watched the America's Next Top Model documentary that came out on Netflix. I watched the America's Next Top Model documentary that came out on Netflix. It is a three-parter.
The kids are still saying 6'7".
Oh, thank God. Miss Kim, can you also confirm? I heard the kids are really into Nate Bargatze, which just surprises me a little bit. I don't know. You never know what's going to catch, but he has that new movie coming out where his wife is a big bad worker and sells her idea on Shark Tank. I think it's Manny Moore. She sells her idea on Shark Tank, and then he's left at home with the kids. It's like a very 90s plot line. But we saw the preview for it when we went and saw GOAT, the Steph Curry movie this weekend, which I'll talk about in theater Thursday. I enjoyed GOAT quite a lot. And Nate Bargatze popped up, and I'm like, all of a sudden, he is everywhere. He's coming back here to FedEx Forum, get your tickets. But, yeah, dang. So tell me, Miss Kim, if the kids really do like Nate Bargatze. That's what TikTok told me. The America's Next Top Model documentary, three-parter. Nothing all that shocking, really just a rehashing of what happened and a lot of framing through the lens of it was a different time, which it was, factually, it was a different time. I think the most shocking part of the entire documentary was it's winding down and you find out that they're doing a season 25. And I said, why? Why? Again, money, people will watch. I'll probably watch because I'm a sicko who watched America's Next Top Model for a long time. I did not watch all 24 seasons. I think I tapped out around season 12 of America's Next Top Model, but I was there for at least half of the run of America's Next Top Model in real time. Watching it, for me, I just recognized that it really was a symptom of the early days of reality television. And we still have reality television. It's just more monetized now, and people can make personalities out of it and have great success out of it from a personal standpoint. And back in the day, a lot of these just quote unquote like regular contestants on these shows would get used and abused, like turned and burned by the process of reality television. But they even mention it in the documentary, like the way they structured it was very American Idol-esque, right? Like it is a competition for a specific industry, in this case, modeling. With American Idol, it was singing. But Tyra Banks saw American Idol and said, I want to know what they're doing when they go home. I want to add a Big Brother component to it, a real world component to what American Idol would be like. So let's have cameras in the house and let's see what these girls are doing when they're not just in the middle of the modeling competition and everything that circulates around it. I don't know. It's an odd show. I was obsessed with the show. And looking back on it as a 33-year-old, I'm like, oh yeah, this probably contributed to some wicked body image stuff. But it's not like it solely was responsible for young women's body image issues. It was just, again, I think it's more of a symptom of the time. I think it represents that time fairly well because it was everywhere. And I know people are dogging Tyra and all of them for avoiding taking responsibility. And like, that's fine. If you want a true apology, you can go clamor for it. I'm not going to sit here and be mad that they really do view it as, what were we supposed to do? This thing made money. This thing was wildly successful.
I'm not sure I have a good enough grasp on this, on this documentary, because I don't think I have a good enough grasp on what it's like to be a woman to fully comprehend how something like this can affect girls, young women, and grown women. So many times, 5 or 6 different times each episode, I'm pausing it, looking at my wife who's fuming, like, yo, explain it to me, because I don't get it. And even after the explanation, it's like, yo, I just don't get that. I disagree with everything you're saying. And maybe it's me and my misogyny, my toxicity, whatever you want to call it. But I just don't get it. I will say to your point, Tyra in that show, the symptom, not the problem. So be mad at the symptom, sure. Want to treat the symptom, sure. But unless you're willing to change the system, like the symptom is always going to be there. It's always going to come back. We're always going to be going through whatever cycle of, hey, this is what attractiveness in a woman should be. And it's always going to be doing damage to little girls and young women. I thought the idea for it, when she got to talking, first off, all of these people annoy the hell out of me. But I thought when she was talking about it and everybody was talking about it initially, like, hey, we wanted to put people who don't look like what you think a model should look like up on screen. We want to do that and give them a shot at this. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Then do that. Why are you adamant that women change their body types? Why are you adamant that women have surgery and have procedures to fix the gaps in their teeth? You had an opportunity to, so you say, take a shot at the modeling industry as a whole. Right. So why are y'all using the same rubrics, the same metrics of what a model is to put these women down or to decide who to eliminate? That show could be a bit more interesting if instead of doing the over-the-top photo shoots, is, hey, we've got 10 beautiful women here. Here's their journey through the modeling industry. Here are the things that they're facing. Here are the things that they're going through. You don't have to have the elimination. You can say, hey, I'm mentoring these women right here. None of them are going to go home. None of them are going to be eliminated. These are the ones who got lucky enough to be picked. Some are bigger. Some are smaller. Some have gaps. Some have no hair. Some have short hair. Some have long hair. All of them are beautiful, and here's what they're going to be facing, and here's what they're tasked with in trying to become a model. Like there are points in the documentary where the participants talk like, yo, I couldn't use anything from the shoot because all of the shoots were so over the top. And then it's like, okay, well, you guys are doing this for TV now and having a modeling television show masquerading as a modeling competition. And that's, at a certain point, you're just preying on young women's hopes and dreams. And that's the part where if you want to be upset about it, I think you can be.
Yeah, I just think reality TV by nature, especially back then, was predatory.
Especially back then. When has it stopped?
Well, now I think there's a better understanding today. Like if you go on Love is Blind, you're not going on to find love. You're going on because you hope that you can make enough of a name for yourself, that you are able to get a significant social media following and then translate that into a variety of brand deals. And then you have a business. Back then, the story of Shandy is one of the ones that they feature
Shandy?
on. The one who was in the sexual position in Milan or wherever they were traveling. I don't think it was in Milan.
It was Milan.
Was it Milan?
I'm pretty sure it was Milan.
And she's young. She had worked at Walgreens or I don't want to get the walls wrong. CVS. Back where she came from. But bottom line, convenience store girl, chases modeling dreams, that could not be a more applicable prototype of the removed her glasses and she was beautiful kind of thing. But young, naive, and was involved in, she came with a boyfriend, had a night where they invited these male models who had been a part of the shoot over. They're all drinking. None of them are eating. That's just casually glossed over. Not casually, but it's a pretty big piece of it. They all have eating disorders. No one's actually eating food because you're trying to be as thin as possible. You don't want to, God forbid, have the pooch that has to be retouched in these photo shoots, despite the fact that you are pretty rail thin to begin with. And these male models come over, they're drinking, they're in a hot tub. Shandy ends up having a sexual relation with
it's a one-night stand.
It's a one-night stand. It's as a woman, and I think we talked about this yesterday off air, but viewing this through a different lens of, from a woman, I watch that and I say, she was taken advantage of. I'm not trying to use inflammatory language, he should have charges pressed against him. But I think there's this level where when a woman gets that drunk, and you can see it because we have video of it because nobody stopped it, nobody stepped in, and even the fact that they were able to go into the bathroom with her because they talked about a rule that they had where if you went into the bathroom alone, cameras couldn't follow you. That was a place of privacy that girls could escape to. But because she went into the bathroom and the shower with a guy, that's two people, so they were able to take advantage of the loophole and say, we can follow you into the shower in this situation. But I'm watching her and I'm like, she can't consent. She cannot give her consent. That is how and that's where you get taught as a young woman. You're like, well, someone might take advantage of you, and it's very wrong. And Shandy in that situation, like, it was hard to watch, and then it was hard to watch her have to grapple with the exploitation of that event being used as a centerpiece for the show, making her call her boyfriend, making her go through the process of telling him that she cheated on him with her, and then hearing from her that she would be like, they tried to make it work after the show. She leaves the show. She removes herself from the competition because she can't take it anymore. And she and her boyfriend would be like out on the streets, and people would yell like, "You're a slut" at her. And so then having to go through that and having no real foundation or emotional support. And yes, again, sure, those kind of things happened all the time on reality TV shows, but watching it was like, ugh. And you watch her today reflect on it, and I'm like, that's hard.
That's the one that I really just 1,000% don't understand.
What did you think about Kenya with the guy who's like rubbing up on her legs during the shot?
That one I can follow that. That one I get. That is harassment in the workplace.
Yeah.
You say that she can't consent because she's drank too much, but she is kissing this dude, tonguing him down, and grinding on him in the hot tub. So to me, that's body language. That is consent.
Body language is not technically consent.
And if we get up from the hot tub and we take it to another room, I'm assuming that we've entered into some consensual understanding that, hey, like, things are going to go down. Things are going to escalate from here.
I understand where you're going from that. As a woman, what I viewed is a young woman who didn't have a single friend in that situation who said, well, you're not okay. Because they don't know each other that well. They're thrust into, those aren't her friends. Those are her competitors, for one. And everybody's always trying to be cheeky, and you get caught up into the world of what's happening there. But then from the camera crew standpoint, you have a decision in that case. You can either choose to use this moment, which of course they're going to do.
Yes,
it's a reality television show. That's how this thing works. But you can still look at it and have the ick about it. Like, I cannot tell you the number of times I have been with friends at bars or have happened to me where you're like, God, I sure wish that I had somebody around me who would have said, hey, let's go home. Like, you're not in the position to be going anywhere alone with a guy right now who's going to read your body language as interpretation of consent. Like, that's just, yeah. I know we're getting into the real deep weeds of
but no, it's
how
not
this
that,
goes.
It's not real deep. Like, that's a central part of the first episode and a half.
I meant deep weeds of, like, the reality of what it is to be
that's
a woman
the thing I need to
in a one-night stand.
That's the thing I got to understand, dog, because as a dude who has had a handful of those types of situations, and that if something happened, or I got a nephew, I got young men who I'm around, I got little boys who I'm around, these are the types of things I need to know so I can tell them, hey, you can do, this is the line. Where's the line? Here's the line.
She says that she blacked out. If you black out, you cannot give your consent. You can't.
Maybe.
There's a difference between making out and having sex.
Maybe that part wasn't shown in the show, right? Because it is reality TV.
You're right.
They're showing things.
You don't know
in bits
how
and pieces.
long
I don't
the
know how
period
long
was
everything
between the hot tub and them
correct.
going back.
So maybe, but like if you, when you say blackout? To me, blackout is pass out.
To me, blackout, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Blackout is when you drink to the point where you have no recollection of what you were doing. And you can brown out.
And
There's
again,
levels to those.
And again, she hadn't eaten. She was not eating.
Right. And she said she
none
drank
of them
2
were
bottles
eating,
of wine by herself.
And she drank 2 bottles of wine by herself. So, like,
and
that's how you end up in this situation.
Well, that's on her. She shouldn't not eat and
but
drink.
But you know
that's
not what I'm saying.
We were all in college. And
that's
did
not what
stupid
I'm
shit
saying.
Like that.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm legitimately trying to understand. Hey, okay, she's saying she blacked out. How am I, as a dude, supposed to know this person has blacked out?
Because she probably doesn't have great control of her limbs, of her body. Are you having to help her to the bed? Like, can she walk on her own? You get out of that hot tub. Can she walk with 2 feet in a semi-straight? I won't say it has to be fully straight, but can she walk on her own to wherever you're trying to go? Or are you dragging her? Is she leaning on you and you're kind of like rolling her into the next location?
That's the things. Some of that is the things lovers do, right? We get out the hot tub. She
when
leans
you're with
on
somebody
me.
that you know, like if I'm leaning on my husband, it's a different story.
If you want some sweet loving,
And that's where men have taken advantage of that for a long time.
Okay.
That's why men try to get women drunk. That's why roofies exist.
Yes, but this wasn't that.
I know,
he
but this
wasn't
was
trying to get her drunk to take advantage of her.
I don't know. I have no idea what his intentions were when he went over. And I'm not trying to put those intentions on him
but
either.
The way the story, all I know is the way the story was presented to
Right.
me. And then, I got a meeting. Oh, well.
Oh, shoot.
I'm already
I love
super late
talking
for
about
it.
consent.
But no, like the way it was presented to me was she comes back, hey, I drank 2 bottles of wine and I probably shouldn't have. It's not like he was force feeding her the wine. So it sounded to me like everybody was just turning up.
Yeah.
And in the midst of the turn up, some things escalated. She didn't want them to escalate in hindsight. In the moment, it sounded fine. In hindsight, it wasn't. And now she's remorseful about it. And it's doubly painful because it's on camera.
I think, yes. And also, I get back to the point. Like, if you cannot consent, you should not be. Body language is not consent. Do you want to do this? If there was her on camera and he says, are you sure you want to do this? And she says, yes. All right.
Even if she's blacked
If he
out.
says, do you want to do this? And she goes, it's gross. It's taking advantage of a situation. Anyway, that was one story of the America's Next Top Model lore.
Good documentary. I understand nothing, but it was a good
swept through
documentary.
it. I watched all 3 in like a day and a half.
We couldn't. The wife was furious. We had to take breaks in between
Yeah.
episodes.
There was a lot there. I was like, oh, that's why I feel that way about some things in my life. Okay. It is a good documentary. I think there's another one coming out where Janice, whatever her last name, Dickinson, is going to be on it on Hulu. You know, now we always have to get competing documentaries. Because there were some figures who were not used, and Janice, being the Simon Cowell of the America's Next Top Model judges, was on there. So we'll see if another one comes out. We will be back tomorrow. It will be a Grizzlies game day. Grizzlies Warriors tomorrow. D'Angelo Williams will join us as he does every Wednesday. And we have a very special guest tomorrow, Chip Williams, who is your favorite draft analyst. That's what I've always dubbed him. He's one of my favorite draft guys. He does so much research going into the draft. We usually get him closer to draft day, but due to the unforeseen circumstances, we're going to have him on a little earlier. So he'll give us his takes on some of the top guys in the draft, those underrated gems that the Grizzlies could be looking at later in the draft, all that and more with Chip tomorrow. Everyone have a great rest of your day. We'll see you later. Bye.